Sky, Children of the Light, has been lacking something for a very long time. That is the ability to have productive interactions with other players. What I mean by this is that in Sky, Children of the Light, there is no reason to interact with other players unless you actually wanted to make friends. Or at least, that's what the devs wanted Sky to be like early in the game's development. However, with the ability to send other players gifts of light to several people to generate a ton of hearts, people do have an incentive to make friends and just forget about them other than sending them light. So, if the mentality that the only reason to interact with other players is that to be friends is already broken, why not push this idea further and use it to encourage friendships? I have a proposition to that question, and that is the season of Seashells. This is less of an idea for a season and more of an idea for a new system to be added to Sky. However, that's what most of the new seasons do, so I decided to wrap it up in a neat little bow of a season. Additionally, I'm going to try to keep this season from taking too much time to develop than the other seasons that have come out. If this season added a new massive open world area the size of the Breath of the Wild's Hyrule, that wouldn't be reasonable for the devs. First of all, the season would reuse the Season of Sanctuary area. In terms of the unique seasonal terrain, the only thing the devs would need to do is place a small building down somewhere on the beach and have a vendor there. While this season does not have very much terrain to work with its own set piece, this season will be reusing a lot of old areas in a way that you might not expect. When the season starts, the shell collector spirit will take up residence in the shell shop. They do not need to actually sell their original cosmetics, but it would be a nice touch. How this event would work is every major day of the event, the seashell collector would require shells from different areas of the game. Ideally, the first quest would be to collect a few seashells from the Season of Sanctuary's main hub area. Additionally, this would be an excellent opportunity to hide some seashells in the underwater areas of whatever area the player is exploring, such as in the hidden forest you could hide some of the seashells in the river and stuff. Now, I'm going to need to explain how the seashells work. Each player has a personal set of seashells that only they can see and collect. This way, the players won't fight over seashells. Also, the seashells only respawn daily and in randomized locations, so the player can't farm seashells by leaving the area and re-entering it. I'm just going to throw this in real quick, but this video is sponsored by Vitamin D. If you've just been indoors all day and you're really depressed, you might have low levels of vitamin D, so I would recommend going outside for an hour and just sitting out there and read a book, and you might not feel as depressed. Okay, back to the video. Now, we're going to go through the complicated part of the event. The first day of the event is essentially a tutorial level. The seashell collector asks you for a green seashell and a blue seashell, and you go collect them, and then you are good. However, the next set of seashells includes a green, blue, and red seashell. The seashell collector stresses to the player if they can't find a specific type of seashell, they should come back to the seashell shop. And so they go to the area with the seashells, they find a lot of blue and green seashells, but no red ones. However, when they talk to the seashell trader, they tell you that you can trade seashells with other players by using the trading mat next to the shop. Now, if you can't find any red seashells, why can other players find them? Well, that's because we are going to be using some specific tomfoolery. You see, when the player started the event, they are given a list of seashells that would spawn for them, that being blue and green. Other players might have gotten red and green, or red and blue. Then, the first tutorial level was set up to be a player specific to the shells that were available to them. By forcing other players to use trade mats, we can force them to interact. You will be able to offer to trade a seashell on the mat, in addition to having free chat to negotiate. Now, we may ask ourselves a question. Is forcing players to trade items and barter manipulating them into interacting with other players? I would have to say yes to that. However, this isn't going to be a thing where it's difficult to make the trades. By this point, you will have 6 blue and 6 green seashells, and you will only need 1 red seashell to continue. Using this system, even strangers will be more happy to trade shells with you. This system does have a few flaws, however, regardless, I feel like it would be a very interesting system to be implemented. Well, this is the main backbone of the season, collecting seashells and trading with other players. Now we are going to discuss a few features that will not be hard. Now for the new spirits, I was thinking of instead of having new spirits, we could just reuse the old spirits from the Season of Sanctuary. However, instead of them just selling their old stuff, they also sell necklaces. The necklace is an item on a string that goes around the player's neck, and there are already a few in the game. However, near the end of the event, players will have the option to create necklaces using beads sold by seashell collectors. And guess what seashell collector accepts as a currency for those beads? Seashells. The seashell collector will also trade a few basic shells for necklaces and trading seashells. However, the more interesting ones will be sold by the Season of Sanctuary spirits. Also, the necklaces could also be introduced in future seasons as well. Additionally, the necklaces could be gifted to friends you have. What's better than giving a friend a unique cosmetic made by you? That is all of the things I would add to the Season of Seashells. Now we are going to go over what is not being included in the Season of Seashells. Those are mainly the fact that there is no new emotes or spirits included in the season. In addition, there is no new main area where the player can explore. However, because those things are left out of the season, hopefully it means that the devs have more time to make more seashells designs and trades, in addition to making more interesting underwater locations to hide the seashells. This is the perfect opportunity to make use of the water all across Sky as interesting places to hide seashells. In addition, that game company would use the time they normally spent on spirits and terrain to make a new necklace system with a variety of options. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. Like the video if you want to see this in the future season. Share your opinion of this idea in the comments below. I love reading your guys' feedback and ideas. I do not upload regularly anymore, but if you want to know when I will upload again, be sure to subscribe. Stay safe and have a good night.